BMW X3 faces more competition than it ever has done previously. Not only are there competent packages being offered from Mercedes-Benz and Audi, its traditional rivals, but non-traditional rivals such as Ford with their new Edge try to push up market and breach the X3's dominance. Now this is the facelifted BMW X3, which means it incorporated all of those relatively minor nips and tucks to headlights and grills and things. It still look very premium. But this car specifically has the M Sport pack on it, and it means you get the nice alloy wheels, you get the sporty bumpers, sort of the whole body kit treatment, and it looks really good. And of course your obligatory M badging. It looks rather sporting with those very defined creases down its length. It looks quite authoritative in its stance as well. Underneath the bodywork of this car is a 2-litre diesel engine with 188 brake horsepower and 295 pounds-feet of torque. Couple that with xDrive all-wheel drive and a 9-speed automatic transmission, and you have a really quite capable car. Whilst the all-wheel drive will quite easily brush off the likes of bad British winters, you also get things like hill descent control, which sort of invites you to take the X3 off of the beaten track a little. Of course, not many of them will end up going anywhere near the rough stuff, but it's nice to know that it has at least some capabilities there. But what about on the road where it really matters? Well, this diesel engine, whilst a little bit grumbly under hard acceleration, really does settle down, and it's quite a smooth, relatively quiet unit once it gets up to speed. Performance is really good, and that torque that comes in really low down makes it responsive, and it does fill you with confidence to pull out of junctions. And of course on the motorway, where this diesel engine really feels at home, it performs really, really well. By now I'm sure you're all sick to death of hearing how good ZF automatic transmissions are these days, but it's no different in this X3. This 8-speed unit is really good. It's super smooth, you can hardly feel the gear shifts, it's very responsive whenever you do decide to take control via the paddles, and it just works really well in tandem with this engine. Turn the car up into sport mode and it weights up the steering, increases throttle response and firms up those dampers, which obviously prevents as much body roll going through the corners. Now it has really keen turning, it does have those core BMW characteristics. It's quite an enjoyable car to drive actually, and of course all-wheel drive allows you to have lots of confidence putting all of that grip together in this package. The interior is exactly what you expect from BMW. It's well put together, nicely designed. You know, it feels solid. It feels like it really could put up with the torture that young children could maybe put an interior through. It also feels very premium. In this car, obviously, we've got the leather seats and all this nice red stitching that contrasts the cream leather. It's really nice, a little bit of brushed aluminium here. I will say the centre console is maybe a little bit dull, and in the next generation car I think that's probably something that's going to be addressed. But it does also feature BMW's iDrive system, which is really great. There's also plenty of standard features on this car, including DAB radio, sat-nav also comes as standard, as does electrically adjustable seats. You get that nice high driving position, and the seats themselves are very supportive, plenty of bolstering around your ribs. Now the rear bench seats 3, the middle passenger does sort of have to contend with the transmission tunnel, but overall there's quite a lot of space back there. That said, not quite as much as the class-leading Ford Edge. Visibility is pretty good all around, with good sized door mirrors, and despite quite a small rear window, it sits quite flush, so visibility is not too bad out there either. Though most modern cars, I'd always recommend a reversing camera, it just helps no end. Boot space sits at 550 litres, but if you fold those rear seats flat, it extends to 1,600 litres. BMW claim that this car will go into the mid-50s in terms of MPG and emit just 136 grams per kilometre of CO2. Starting at £33,945, it isn't the cheapest car in the class, obviously, but you are buying a well-polished premium product with a BMW badge that sits above those kidney grills. The BMW X3 is one of those cars that's a bit of a jack of all trades. It's great on the motorway, but it's also calming and relaxing and easy to use around town.
Thanks very much for watching, and let us know what you think in the comments below. Please subscribe for more on the latest and greatest cars to hit the road. For all of the latest automotive news, written reviews and coverage from motor shows, go to www.insidelane.co.uk.